Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Esoteric Empire. This is a food for thought. If you're interested in a topic such as this one, or if you're interested in just other things that are on my mind, go ahead and check out that playlist, Food for Thought. All right, let's jump into the video. So, today I wanted to talk about the cleansing process. I'm trying to think of what else to call it. I guess it would be like an esoteric bath, right? So what I mean by this is the process of which we undergo like transmuting and washing away certain blemishes that may be imprinted on our soul. So this is a deeper version of cleansing. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because I kind of had a moment where, as always, you go through certain experiences and it teaches you about yourself and also about how life works in general. And I wanted to put this message out there because it really helped me confront myself with a certain topic that I didn't even know that I was going through or still had feelings towards in a negative way. But it also made me understand how to parent better, because you guys know I am a mom. So it also helped me understand how to help my son when he has like anything emotional going on, you know what I mean? So I thought this was really important, whether you're a parent or not, to kind of explain this in the way that my spirit felt that it was necessary to amplify this message. So I'm going to break this down between two elements. So we have fire and water. Now, usually when people think about cleansing, the first thing they think about is the element of water when we're talking about, the elements. This I have found is not the first step to cleansing. The first step is fire. And fire, it's about action, it's about passion, it's about emotion, but in a different way. So it still has emotion behind it, just like water. But this emotion is usually passion. So that could be anger on a negative spectrum, or it could be just passion and love, and expressing love in a passionate form on the positive spectrum. Now, the reason I say this is the first step to cleansing is because I noticed in my situation that I was going through, let me just break it down to y'all. I was telling someone that I had talked to someone that I care about, and whenever I was telling them how the conversation went, the person I was talking to noticed that my energy kind of shifted when I was speaking. And because me and this person are very spiritually connected, I think they could just feel like, okay, some ain't right. When they brought that up, it really made me uncomfortable. Not because they confronted it or they pointed it out, but because I didn't really know that was something that I was still dealing with, because the issue is years old, and it just so happens to involve a family member or someone that I'm related to by blood. And that initial shift that I felt, I didn't recognize that I had that problem or that I felt that way emotionally about something, but the shift that I felt was the spark. And I can liken it to the energy of Aries. So it was like this spark of fire that came up, right? And immediately I felt defensive, not at the person, but I guess at the subject. And I felt anger. Not because I was upset, but I guess it was just like someone called out the demon that I was dealing with. And so that demon came out. And not that I was upset with the person. I want to make that very clear, because this was an internal understanding after I went through these steps that I went through. So I want to make sure you understand. So when you go through anything like this, you understand that you're actually cleansing yourself when this happens. And so, like I was saying, I felt this initial energy of just anger, and really all that is just hurt. And I realized the reason that I felt all of this is because there was years and years of this feeling that really is just hurt, that I had buried for years, literally just silenced that voice. And so when someone actually called on that, particular part of myself, it was like, finally, somebody wants to acknowledge me, that piece of me, And so that feeling that was initial was rage, as far as how I felt on the inside. anger, which to me is still passion. But it was very confusing for me at first because, well, after I looked at the situation, it was confusing because I was like, damn, where did that come from? Like, why did I react that way? What is that? What was that? And I've come to terms after meditating and really like, examining my reactions and stuff like that. It was fire. And that's what fire is. It's an immediate reaction. It can be good or bad, but in that situation, it was kind of like negative, And so that was that, that person allowed me to feel how I felt. And obviously they consoled me in their way and made sure that I understood like it's okay to feel that, because I also believe that that was wrong. I felt like it was wrong for me to have anger towards something because, I'm spiritual. I'm not supposed to feel is basically what I was saying without realizing that's what I was doing. So fast forward, the next day, I decided to really think about what they were telling me and like what I needed to deal with, because I realized the only reason I was upset with it was because I didn't want to deal with it. So, I dealt with my shit, and I really, obviously I'm still going through that, but I'm saying I really acknowledged what was that? What the hell was that I felt? And what I realized was the next day, after having those feelings kind of like come to the surface and get emotional, because I do believe that I cried. I'm not gonna lie. But I basically just released emotion. So the next day I realized that the cleansing process after you burn everything down esoterically, with the fire that she felt towards that, the water, the cleansing process, it clears out or washes away all of the debris that you allowed to fall down or you allowed to happen from the fire. So the initial part is the fire, and then the next day or whenever it is, when you have time to really sit back and really look at everything, that's the water. That's the cleansing away. And I realized, okay, so when we're talking about cleansing and all of this stuff, the water is the aftermath. Just like when you clean up your house, you usually make a bigger mess at first when you're cleaning, getting everything out of the way and throwing things away. And then you mop or whatever, or even with yourself, like you get dirty from cleaning up and then you got to go take a shower. So that's what I realized I was doing, bringing out all of the trash that I needed to dump and just get rid of. And or I wouldn't even say trash, but it's the things that you don't want to hoard. So those things that's just like it's outdated, you don't need it, you don't use it anymore. That's what I did. I had to like realize that, hey, there's a pile of shit over there that needs to be thrown out and not recycled, like thrown out. Let's shred it. Let's, clear it out. Let's throw it away. That's what I did with the fire, and the next day, when I really looked at everything and I confronted myself and I literally mapped out what I needed to do in order to fix that situation so that I don't literally burn bridges with fire in my future and the people that I interact with. And that is what water does. It doesn't clear out what your issues are. It cleanses away. It washes away the debris. So in order to wash something away, you have to chip it off, so that it's able to be moved by the water. Does that make sense? So that's kind of like what I learned within the cleansing process. And I'm not saying that you should be angry every time something happens, but I'm saying when there's certain things when it's time for the volcano to erupt, when it comes to a certain part of yourself that needs to be cleared away, it has to happen. Now, obviously, you need to be an adult and know like how to allow things to happen. I'm not giving advice on that, but I'm saying those initial reactions and those feelings that need to be expressed because there's passion behind it, you have to confront that. And once you do that, then the watery aspect of reconnecting and cleansing and rehabilitating whatever pain that was caused or whatever that is, like that's when you can actually experience that part, the nice part of cleansing, the comforting parts of cleansing. But it has to start with that fire because you have to have an emotion to start it, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I guess I'm making this video just to shed light or bring light to the contrast, but also the teamwork that fire and water do for each other. And really, to my understanding at this point, it's really just the masculine and feminine version of emotion. So yeah, that's basically the video. So I hope that you guys are evolving and expanding and acknowledging yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly, the parts you want to fix, the parts that you're proud of. And like I said, I'm putting this message out there for those of you who, if you're spiritual and stuff and you want to make sure like you have permission to feel what you feel, is what I'm saying. Being spiritual is about having balance, in my opinion, at this point in my journey. So, when you want to, cleanse things and all that stuff, but sometimes you got to really you got to get a little angry. Sometimes you have to acknowledge why you even want to clear something out, is what I'm trying to say. Also, I want to add this. I don't know if it was a Kanye West song or something, but he said, I put my hand on the stove to see if I still feel. I think that's the word, something like that. But what I gathered from it, or how I can liken this to this situation, is not literally, but in order to, you can be spiritual, but if you're way in the waters and everything's always good and stuff like that, and that's kind of a red flag. So with the phrase that I had just said, sometimes you have to feel fire in order to see that you still feel, because you don't want to become so spiritually high that you're no earthly good. So if you're not feeling things when they're bad, or if they're it doesn't matter, you have to still feel, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes fire has to pop up to show you that yo, this ain't right, or this is really good. Whatever your spirit is feeling, fire is going to give you that feeling so that you know what you're feeling, you know what I'm saying? So that you're not just floating around aimlessly. So yeah, okay, I think I'm done with this video for real now. Let me know how you esoterically cleanse yourself from, or purge yourself from, certain emotions and toxins and impurities in your life that you've endured and conquered. And let me know, how you felt about this message. And with that being said, I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next Food for Thoughts. Bye.